What's up guys, welcome back to another collection video. So over the last couple weeks a lot of new Blu-rays and stuff like that has come out that I'm adding to my collection. So before we get to the main event I just kind of want to go over those a little bit for those who care. So it's definitely some good stuff I'd like to add to my collection. Over the holidays, this has actually been out for a while. This is the complete James Bond collection. It's every single movie from Dr. No to Skyfall. This was released when Spectre was in theaters. And it actually has a spot in here for Spectre. And Spectre just came out, so I decided to include this in the video because I've added it to the collection. So that's very nice to have. This was not cheap, but it was actually cheaper than the other James Bond collection we got back in end of 2012, beginning of 2013. That one was very hard to find. It was much nicer than this, but it wasn't quite the same. So also, for more the anime aspect of this, Evangelion 3.33 is now out in English, and actually a lot of stores are getting this. Like my Walmart actually had this in DVD and in Blu-ray, and I've not seen this yet. I love the first two Evangelion reboot movies. My entire thoughts on Evangelion are for a separate video entirely, but I really do like the other two movies, and I'm hoping this goes in a good direction. I've not heard great things about it. I've heard that it doesn't really accomplish a whole lot in the grand scheme of the story, but I'm looking forward to it nonetheless, because let's face it, it's been like 5 years since the previous one, so they really need to hurry up and get these things out here so we can get this story finished, because it's been like 2 decades and they've still not finished it. So then finally, this was something I didn't even know this was coming out. Well, not finally, second to last year. I didn't know this was actually coming out. They released, for the 50th anniversary of Star Trek, they released 2 movie collections that are the entire movie collection of the original series and the entire movie collection Next Generation. So I have the original one now. Again, there is already an existing Blu-ray collection of these movies that's much nicer than this. I don't own that one, and it's more of a collectible version. It's in a bigger box. This is just for the sake of owning each individual movie. But now for the main event. Several months ago, you guys know that I unboxed and talked about the Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works series Blu-ray box set for the English dub, Volume 1. And I said that Volume 2 is coming out in February. It's finally out, so we're going to be unboxing that right now and talking about it a little bit before I move on to some other things. Alright, so once again I apologize for the glare because this is a Lexan glass plating on this table here to prevent it from being scratched, because this is like an antique chest or whatever. So you may be able to see like a Stormtrooper, for instance, in the reflection there. So this is Volume 2. I imagine it's going to be very much the same as Volume 1 in quite a few ways, so I don't intend to go on for too long about this. I already kind of expressed my thoughts and feelings about the series in the previous video and in other videos. If you guys have kept up with the Fate panels I've been doing at cons across the Southeast, and the Fate Collection videos that I've been doing, you guys know that I'm a huge fan of this franchise. One thing I do know for a fact that it's going to include is obviously the Volume 2 soundtrack and another limited edition White Swords promo card, which is pretty cool. Actually, since the last video, I've collected some more of these cards, and they're actually quite nice. I do have a lot of the Unlimited Blade Works series cards. Nothing especially rare. I haven't really learned how to play the game yet, but I'll show those off. I know I showed in the very first Fate Collection video, I showed off the Fate Zero starter deck that is of that White Swords card game. So as I said before, I'm not going to try to preserve this plastic sleeve. I do with a lot of the music albums, the Japanese music albums that come in this kind of thing, but to me this is different. It's just too high maintenance to get back in here. With all you're really getting on here is these 2 stickers that you're throwing away. And again, if you didn't watch the first part, these are not cheap. These are about $150 each, but there is a standard DVD version if you are just interested in that. Unfortunately, there is not a standard Blu-ray version. Come on now. There's not a standard Blu-ray version that's just the disc. Kind of like that Evangelion DVD I just showed you, that, you know, if they made a version like that, it would be much more consumer friendly, but these anime distribution companies have gotten away from that, I guess, and depending on the series, they really want to get as much out of it as they can. I don't know how I'm going to get this off. I should have learned from last time that the simplest way to get it off is just through clever editing. I mean, that's always what it gets it off every time. So, as I've said before, this is a really nice packaging. It has that gloss finish as opposed to the sort of matte textured finish that the Fate Zero Blu-ray collections had. But let's just check out this art here. This is, I mean, the art for the first volume we had seen before in the Japanese releases. But man, this is just crazy. Like, this definitely sums up Season 2 very well, with Saber in the, the weird dress that Castor gives her. Castor has a weird habit of putting people in weird outfits and bondage gear, but we won't go there. So let's see what other kind of art this collection has. So this is probably one that you're very familiar with. This is one on a lot of the posters. This art is just tremendous. I really would like to know who this artist is by name and credit their work some more and look up some other things they've done, because it looks like a you know, like a theatrical movie poster from like the 80s, like a classic movie that you would know and love and appreciate. Wow, that's really cool. So there's that, and then this one again, you guys are probably also familiar with. I may have liked the art was a little more original in Volume 1, but the art on this collection overall was great, as to be expected. And then this is actually, whoops, this is actually what looks like the soundtrack, and this art was on the Y. Schwartz deck. Let's see what card we get in here. Oh, it's not in this case. I wonder where it is then. It must be through this, all this information here. There we go. Yeah, that's pretty nice. I wish that these were foil, because I know they do make foil Y. Schwartz cards. That's what I was talking about there, that artwork. But for some reason, none of these promos are foil. The Fate Zero ones were not foil. The Fate Unlimited Codes one was not foil. I wish that they were. It would, to me, they'd be nicer, but I still really appreciate them. I've not opened any of them. I've not opened the Saber Lily from Fate Unlimited Codes either. I've just kept them pristine because I definitely intend to collect the cards, but I don't intend to play them. So the discs are very much the same as with Volume 1 as well, where we have the characters and